Ready when you're ready. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to your Cavs post-game coverage brought to you by Mike Check Take Two on the Inside Edge Network. For those of you who don't know who I am the DAVID, the real Ruiz. And to my right, we have everyone's favorite season, autumn. What's that look for?
We'll talk about it, but first, please support us here at Inside Edge Network by liking, subscribing, and following us on your favorite social media sites. We have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, whatever. You can find us there. Also, check out the Inside Edge merch store. You can get polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hat, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase that you purchase supports us, an independent sports network. And use the QR code you see the side, the QR code. Look at my finger. You see that right there? Click that QR code and support us. And as we grow, this is David and I's first time hosting a post-game show, and clear out. I have some things to say.
Let's hear it. I'm excited.
To lose to a team that has been playing abysmal basketball, not even just like the Raptors are playing such terrible basketball. There were times in this game where the Raptors went 3 or more minutes without a bucket. To lose to them is pathetic. They went 4 for 30 from 3. 4 for 30 from 3. And to lose to that team is pathetic. The Cavs and the Raptors are now tied 2-2. The game will go to 6. The series will go to 6 games. Coming back to Cleveland, we'll probably end up hosting Game 6, right? The Game 6 post game because of how this has been.
Right.
David, what did you see in this game that made you also frustrated with them?
There's a lot of things. Just starting in the first half, the Cavs had 11 turnovers in the first half, and we're losing the offensive rebounds. They gave 12 offensive rebounds in the first half. Our main guys, Donovan Mitchell, 2 for 12 with only 6 points in that first half. James Harden, 4 for 8, 10 points. Evan Mobley, which he needs to be better. He needs to be the big man he is. He went 1 for 7 with 2 points in the first half. That's just unacceptable. Max Strus, you know how I feel about Max Strus. He had another Max Strus playoff performance that here in Cleveland we've grown to hate. He was 0 for 0 with 1 point in the first half. He made that one free throw. Jared Allen, 0 points in the first half. 0 for 2. This is completely unacceptable. The best player we had in the first half, not scoring wise, was Dennis Schroeder. He was +8 when he came off the bench. He was on the court. We can't see this. I spoke about this on Mike Check and the previous shows we've had, where the Cavs just keep making mistakes that aren't going to fly for other teams. Now we're in Toronto, and we're starting seeing those mistakes get paid for. James Harden. This is the thing about James Harden. He's playing the James Harden we've always seen. The lackluster defense, turnovers. I'm not mad at James Harden. That's the James Harden I expect. He was the leading scorer for majority of the game. That's what we expect from him. The terrible performance by Donovan Mitchell, even though he tried to help it in the fourth quarter, he had in that first half of the first quarter, he had 10 points where he had 8 the entire rest of the game. It wasn't a good look. It wasn't a good look. You need your star players to make big plays. It looked like we were trending towards that in the beginning of that fourth quarter, but I'm not seeing it happen.
Yeah, this is like honestly, like you said, James Harden is going to James Harden. I'm not mad at James Harden. 19 points in the game for like he gave honestly, he gave all that he could. We know
Right.
he's not going to get back on defense. We know the things that he's going to do. My gripe, and this has been my gripe
Hmm.
since Donovan has been here, is that when the playoffs happen, he picks and chooses and when he wants to play.
Right.
This happened in the season. I went to 2 games this season. Both games I watched Donovan Mitchell. Both games, Donovan does this thing where if his shot's not falling, yes, he's going to continue shooting, but he's going to get frustrated and he doesn't create other opportunities for himself, right?
Hmm.
If you know your shots are not falling and you know that the refs clearly aren't calling anything, because there are several possessions that we saw the refs were not calling anything on them, start making other opportunities. You have to get other people involved. The bench definitely didn't perform. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, where were you at? Like it's just like everything that's been over the last couple of years with them kind of came out in this game, and there is no way that you should not have swept this team. You
Hmm.
should have swept them. There should be no tide going back to Cleveland, or at least won this game so you're up 3-1. There is no way that team should have won the game. 4 from 30 on 3?
Yeah, that's not okay. I do agree with one of those switch ups they made this game. They put Dean Wade on Shed. That was a great matchup. I like the way
Mhm.
he played. Sam Merrill had a big key factor in this game. And to me, those two players were doing what they were supposed to do. They were playing their role. Big players make big shots and are supposed to make big plays. And we just didn't see that from Donovan Mitchell. We didn't see that from Evan Mobley. We didn't see that from James Harden. We didn't see that from Jared Allen. And that's the
No.
biggest problem. Jared Allen was non existent this game. They need to get them started early. It looked like in the beginning of the second half, they came in, they fed Mobley. He had 2 back-to-back buckets. I'm like, all right, this is the pace we need to run. We already know Toronto's that high tempo team. They're terrible in the half court. You need to hold them to that half court offense. And it looks like they started trending that way, and then they just went completely away from it. They started chucking up those threes. Why weren't they attacking the basket? They were successful when they were attacking the basket, but they
Because
were just settling the entire game.
yeah, because every time they attacked the basket, I saw it was right before the first half, right before Brandon Ingram shot that 3 to take the lead,
Mhm.
which I thought it was a play right before that. The Cavs got an offensive rebound from
Right.
themselves, go up, they shoot the ball, and no foul was called. Let's actually break that down.
Mhm.
The Cavs were the 15 of 23. So they shot 65% from the
Mhm.
free throw. 15 of 23. The Raptors had 36 free throw attempts. There is no way that, like, again, like you could tell they were getting frustrated. And that's the problem, is that when you get frustrated, instead of like saying, okay, let's do what we know that has won us these 2 games, where at one point in the second game they weren't even close enough and you never trailed, go back
Mhm.
to what you were doing then. But instead of doing that, you kind of played into their hand and you let Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram score a combined like 40 points on you.
Mhm.
There's no way that those
Well,
two.
yeah, let's not take away that this was probably the worst first half of basketball, if not the worst first half of basketball since the 2015 playoffs when the Bucks and the Bulls played. It's the first time since then that neither team scored 40 points, which is absolutely terrible. The way Toronto ended the last game, they went 8 for 9 for 3 in the
Mhm.
fourth quarter in game 3, just to come into game 4 and be absolutely terrible. And the worst part about this loss for me is in the third quarter when Toronto took the lead back from us. I
Mhm.
know we ended up like spreading the gap again, but in the fourth quarter, they held the lead. They were winning the game shooting 26%.
There's
26%.
When I say, David, there is no way that Toronto should have won this game. Like everything that Toronto did, like I told you, there were long stretches of me checking the game that I'm like, the score is still like 84 to 77. Like, how is this happening? They did not score for at least 3 minutes. They were not going on like long runs like how they did at the end of the game. Remember at the end of game 3, they went on such a long run that the Cavs scored 2 baskets. Like, there is no way
In the
that
last
you
two and a
go.
half minutes of the game, the Cavs didn't score besides that three that Sam Merrill shot, which was he was fouled,
Mhm,
and they called back a 2, but they didn't call the foul on that last shot. His foot was on the line, but
mhm.
one buck in the last 2.5 minutes. Before that last 2.5 minutes, you were up by 5. You just had to control the pace of the game like you did in game 1, like you did in game 2. I get it. You're in Toronto. They speed up the pace. You know what to do. They need to execute. We had Evan Mobley in foul trouble, or like what in the second half he
Mhm.
got his fourth foul. They took him out of the game for a little bit, but it's unacceptable. I keep getting more and more frustrated the more I watch this team. Even with the game 1 and game 2, when we won and we blew them out the water, like I said before, they continue to make these mistakes. That next round, if we make it out of this round, because I'm not so sure now.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. I think they have to honestly, the flashes I saw in this game where they kind of pulled away from Toronto, they definitely are the better team. They are the
Mhm.
much better team. Toronto should not even be in this series. But the biggest thing that that Toronto really capitalized off of is the turnovers.
Oh, of
Toronto only
course.
had 11. The Cavs had 17. Toronto scored 17 points. So for every turnover the Cavs had, they scored a point. That cannot happen. Also, you cannot have 27 personal fouls.
Oh, absolutely
27
not.
personal fouls is ridiculous.
Well,
Points in the paint. Toronto had 50 points in the paint. The Cavs had 38. You cannot be outscored by 28. Like all the things that Toronto did, genuinely the Cavs, I'm like, I've seen you do this. I know you can do it. I know this is capable. I know this is a high stress environment, but you got to get it together. It's not
yeah.
like this is a team that got put together 2 years ago, not even a year ago. No, you guys have been playing together now for almost 4 seasons. I know
Mhm.
James Harden and Dennis Schroeder are the only two that are kind of in the mix, but the rest of you knows what it takes to get to the second round. The biggest thing
James
about
Harden
this,
knows what it takes to make it to the second round.
I
He's been to the
know,
playoffs all 17 of his seasons.
I know, and that's the biggest thing is that everybody, like my big thing with them is that they are going to continue to have the stigma of if they struggle to get to a certain round. There is no way. They have one of the clearest paths they've they've had since Donovan has been here.
Mhm.
You have Detroit not playing as well as they could be. You have New York not playing as well as they could be. The only team that you would have to face, and you know you can beat them, is Boston. I'm like,
I don't know about that. Aren't we 0-3 against Boston this season?
if the
The
if the
other team
Cavs
is the
have,
New York Knicks. Well, we're 1-2 against the Knicks.
well, the Knicks are the Knicks. The Knicks are the Knicks. So the Knicks have their own issues. There's no way that the Knicks Atlanta series and the Cavs Toronto series should be tied. There's no way that either of those series should be tied. We've talked about New York. We've talked about New York, but we can kind of hit on some other games. Like once again, the Knicks they tied the series up against Atlanta. They went down. They tied the series up 2-0 or 2-2 yesterday. Minnesota goes up 3-1 on Denver after losing Dante DiVincenzo to a season-ending torn Achilles injury. And now Anthony Edwards is going to be out for the next series once they get there with a bone bruise in his knee.
Mhm.
What did you think of those games last night?
Well, it's really tough for me. I the Timberwolves won, right?
Mhm.
So I believe it's all downhill. I believe they've awakened Jokic. I believe Denver's going to come out and win the series. I do.
Not from what I saw. Once Anthony Edwards went down, and honestly, Jaden McDaniels kind of said it the other day where he called them all out by name and that how they don't play defense. Rudy Gobert played the best defense of his life. I've never seen that man play that defense. Like, he went to vintage Rudy Gobert. He shut down Jokic. Jokic, the only time I saw him get any sort of fast, any back is when at the end of the games, Jaden McDaniels laid it up for a couple points, and he's like, "You don't do that. We don't do that in the NBA. We can talk about unwritten rules in the NBA for another day, but we kind of got to go to Friday night right after we got off the show. Something major happened. What major happened on Friday night after we got off the show?
On Friday? Well,
On Friday.
What are we talking about? Look, I know I texted you about a couple of things here, but
there was one big thing that happened. Somebody turned back the time. Somebody turned back the time.
Are we talking basketball?
We're talking basketball.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. The man is 41.
41.
The man is 41. LeBron James. It's truly a spectacle. It's truly a privilege to be able to watch him do what he does. He comes back, fourth quarter at the end of that Rockets game, gets a clutch steal, hits the three, ties up the ball game, sends it into overtime, and somehow we're sitting here looking at the 41-year-old GOAT up 3-0 against the Houston Rockets, given there's no Kevin Durant there. But they also don't have Luka, who's averaging 33 points a game. They don't have Austin Reeves. This Lakers team reminds me a lot of that 2008 Cavs team right now.
Oh, yeah, he's dragging them. He is dragging them. And I never thought I would see 41-year-old LeBron James dragging a team that is much worse than him. And now, with his son on there, his son outscored the entire Rockets bench. LeBron James made one of his teammates, and that teammate scored an entire bench. Like, he is doing things at an elite pace. Let's get back to this Cavs Raptors game, though. I just wanted to touch on that quickly. What do the Cavs have to do in Game 5 to sort of rewrite the ship? Because we saw things that worked in the game. Like, again, the Cavs at one point had a very comfortable lead in the game. They could have pulled away at any one.
I really think they have to stop settling for jump shots, specifically beyond the arc. I know when it works, it's great. When it doesn't, we're here talking about how the Cavs blew a lead at the end of the game. There was no reason that game should have been that close. And before we got off topic and touched everything else, I stated Donovan Mitchell, when he attacks the basket, he's successful. When he hoisted up that three at the end of the game, there was no pull for you. I understand you were trying to draw the foul. I get that. But at this point, you got to make it the smart shots. You haven't been hitting all night. What makes you think you're going to hit that shot with 6 seconds left in the game with coverage that tight? If anyone was going to shoot that shot, should have been Sam Merrill. As shocked as I am that I'm saying those words, and we've talked about it in the past, to me, Sam Merrill was the best player in that fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It absolutely should have been one of your shooters. Look, I love Donovan Mitchell. I think he's the Cavs' best player. He is by far like one of the most elite players in the league. But this season, I have watched him regress at times. I told you, I've watched him in games where he's not even finishing. He's not finishing. He's just laying it up and turning his back. And it's like, you're not even following through. So the fact that you've already kind of created that habit over the season and you haven't really tried to correct it, and now you're trying to will yourself to win a game that all you had to do is get Toronto into foul trouble. That's all y'all had to do. They
were in foul trouble with about 5 minutes left in the game. They were in foul trouble.
Yes, and that's all you had to do was keep them in that foul trouble, but instead you want to pull up from 3. Stop pulling up from 3. If the shot is not shotting, if it's not hitting, don't do it.
What's
Don't
really
do it.
scary? What's really scary about this is Toronto has tied the series 2-2, and they're doing it without their best playmaker and facilitator, Emmanuel Quigley.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in the game. He's another speedy guy. He's another guy that can run. Their offense runs through him. Brandon Ingram is better when he's in the game. RJ Barrett's better when he's in the game, and they were able to tie the series up. So I don't have the stat. Unfortunately, I don't want to keep looking at my phone. But when he comes back, if he comes back, what happens to the Cleveland Cavaliers? Are they able to make those adjustments?
I think they can make those adjustments. I think they going forward, we know game 5 will be on Tuesday, right? Correct? I'm almost positive it's going to be on Tuesday, right? So you have a full day. You played them twice. Well, you played them 4 times. You played them twice at home, twice in there. You know what it takes to beat them. You know what it takes towards the end of the game and how they win games. You know that their shots are not falling at a certain time. All you got to do is play the pick and roll. Mm-hmm. Now, if Quigley comes back and he makes them better, absolutely, you gotta get better. That's the thing, is that the Cavs have a Hall of Fame player and a player who is an elite level talent, and all you have to do is just facilitate and play the pick and roll. Play the game you know you can play. You beat them. You've blown them out twice already. You know what it takes to beat them. You know what it takes to get them off track. You got them off track this game. Again, 4 for 30 for 3. 4 for 30 for 3.
There's something I want to bring up, but we need to let people know about where they can get their Cavs jerseys from.
Yes. I know. Look, I know some of us may not want to wear the jerseys while we're out, but there is a place you can get your Cavs jerseys from.
Yeah, and that place is our sponsor, Fanatics. They do a great job, and we're going to play a little clip from Fanatics for you guys. There's a QR code on the screen. Make sure you guys scan the QR code, buy your favorite players' jerseys. Autumn's favorite player is Zion Williamson, but we'll get to that another day. But here we go. Fanatics isn't just our name. It's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of sports apparel and jerseys from all over the leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans from football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and golf, and everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on the screen right now to celebrate your teams.
Also, shout out to another network sponsor, that's sportsmemorabilia.com. Whether you're searching for baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, or a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. At sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000, yes, 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league team and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease, thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com or use the QR code that is in the corner, guys. You know this QR code right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
That was great, Autumn.
Thank you so much. I did go to media school, so I do know how to read. I do know how to read.
Oh, man. So I know we talked about a little bit before. We said Game 5 was on Tuesday. Game 5 is Wednesday. They do get a travel day because they're coming back from Toronto. Times to be determined. Game 6, Friday, time to be determined. So we will be doing the coverage for the Cavs game Friday on My Check Take 2. Autumn, who is the main player besides Donovan Mitchell? We know he needs to be better. We know that. I don't foresee another performance from Donovan Mitchell like this. He does average 28 a game in the playoffs. He's ranked number 7th behind LeBron James. Besides James Harden and Donovan Mitchell, assuming that Merrill and Dean played the way they did, who are the two players you want to see really show out, and what do you think they can do to take us over the next level?
I think it has to be Jared Allen and Max Strus. Jared Allen is the glue that holds this team together. When the Cavs started getting better during the season, because they were kind of rocky, they were kind of up and down, but when they became consistent is in February, when Jared Allen went on a run that was kind of crazy. He went on a run, and when he is one of your best players, when paired with him and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden, those three right there, and then you add Evan Mobley in, and I think Evan Mobley's okay. I think he just has to get that foul thing under control, but he's pretty consistent. It has to be Jared Allen. Jared Allen is the glue that holds you together. Jared Allen is the person that gets the momentum going and keeps you in the game. You noticed it. The first 2 games, he was the glue.
So
he was the glue.
I don't disagree with that, but it's also up to James Harden and Donovan Mitchell to get him involved. When James Harden is getting the bigs involved, we're almost unstoppable. We're scoring. The people are respecting our shot, or they're respecting us in the paint. Where this game, it feel like we weren't respected in there at all.
No, because they
were
didn't want to go
the whole game.
Yeah, because you got Evan in foul trouble, and you weren't getting Jared involved. There is no way that Jared Allen. Well, first of all, a game to be 89 to 93 in the playoffs is crazy. There's no way that Jared Allen should have only had 3 points. 3 points. 3 points.
I told you he had 0 in the first half.
3 points with 1 steal, 2 blocks, 1 for 4 from 3 throws, 1 field goal. There is no way that you can win a playoff series with him scoring 3 points. 3 points. Now, Max Strus, he's been up and down. He had game 1 where he was very consistent. Game 2, he was a little rocky. Game 3, a little rocky. You cannot have him be rocky. You have to have him alongside Sam Merrill and Dean Wade be your 3 consistent off the bench shooters.
That's pretty much what we've seen from Max Strus his entire tenure in Cleveland. He's rocky. He does well in the regular season, and once it comes time to playoffs, how many wide open shots did Max Strus miss today?
He missed a ton. But again, like I told you, literally, there have been several times where I watched him and I'm like, okay, he's like, okay, my outside shot isn't falling. Let me go inside. And then the refs won't call it. So he gets frustrated and he stops relying on trying to go inside or trying to shoot outside. He just gets frustrated at times and he just needs to step up. In general, he just needs to step up. It's no real like arguing about this with him. He has to step up. In order for the Cavs to be successful, they have to have Wade, Merrill, and Strus come off the bench and be consistent. And they have to have your starting 5 of Harden, Mitchell, Mobley. Like they have to. They have to. That is the only way that they will be successful.
I heard a lot of people say this was a very defensive game. I don't think it was, honestly. Offensively, it was just terrible.
On both sides,
on both sides. The missed opportunities almost every single possession. I knew it was going to be a terrible game. In the first 3 minutes of the game, we went like 2 minutes without a bucket.
I told you there were
NBA
yeah.
playoffs.
There were times when I was sometimes I was checking the score because I ended up having to eat breakfast in between. So I'm checking the score. I look
Breakfast.
down,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
brunch, breakfast, brunch, whatever. I look down, I'm looking at the score. I'm like, how is the score not moved? I'm like, how is it still how is this still like this?
Mhm.
And it's because both teams at times were just not hitting anything. And then one team will get momentum and then the momentum will stop. And then another team will get momentum and then it will stop. And that's why it's such a low scoring game. I actually like low scoring games. I like a defensive game. This was not that. This was just both teams were terrible on offense today.
Yeah,
this was terrible.
That's my biggest issue. If you're having these poor performances against Toronto, how do you expect to survive Boston
or New York?
Like every year, New York's already a matchup nightmare for us. Year in, year out, they have our number for some reason. We trade Garland, which it actually this playoff season, getting rid of Garland showed at least some kind of benefit. James Harden was the leading scorer for the Cavaliers for a majority of the game. Where if he wasn't on that team, if he wasn't on this team, what would have happened if Garland was here? Because Garland couldn't score in great games where we're blowing players out of the water, blowing teams out of the water.
Honestly, I loved Darius Garland. My biggest thing with him is that he couldn't stay healthy. He would get these freak injuries that would be like he would be out for months. Remember, he had the toenail injury, he had the fingernail injury. Like, I'm dead serious. So with him, my frustrations was that yes, he was a good player, but he was so inconsistent. And trading him to LA where he was way more consistent because that kind of team needed him. Bringing in James Harden. I remember everybody, look, I was not one of those ones that was like, this is going to be terrible. I'm like, no, James Harden, when he chooses to play, he will play. And you've seen it that they've gotten better. Honestly, if Darius Garland would have been on that floor, it would have been a blowout. It would have been a blowout. It would have been so much worse. It would have been so much
I don't think
worse.
we would have had the lead.
No,
at any point of the game.
No, at no point. The Cavs would have been behind at every single point. Again, we saw them come out in the second half. They were really aggressive. They were attacking. They got the pick and roll. They played the game that we know that they can play. But again, you get into foul trouble. You figure out your shots are not hitting instead, so you don't want to go in the paint. Then you turn it over the ball. And it's just like, that was just a recipe for disaster. I will say this about this team. I do have faith that they can win the next two games. I do think that they are a much better team. Now, next series, we've seen New York. First of all, New York has Mike Brown as their head coach. Mike Brown, as much as I loved him as Cavs head coach, can't win shit. Okay? Can't win shit. Can't do it. Can't do it. If he's the head coach, if he's an assistant, absolutely. Head coach can't win shit. And we've seen that series and how Atlanta is like giving New York like hell. Now, I don't think look, I'm gonna say this. The NBA, as much as I don't like them, there is not a chance that they will ever let a Toronto Atlanta series happen.
Why not?
David, there is no way that the NBA would have a Toronto, this version of Toronto and Atlanta. If you're talking about 10 years ago, absolutely. This version of Toronto and Atlanta, hell no. They are no.
I do want to bring something up really quick because we were talking about it Friday. It's more NBA news. Looks like Victor Wembanyama is going to be cleared to play today, or is cleared, or is playing right now because we've been on the show. I know you suspected him not playing at all for the rest of the series, or not even coming back for the rest of the playoff stint.
He has a concussion.
Concussion? He cleared
No,
protocol.
no, 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 no. There's no way that this is, look. No, 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 no. What are you doing, San Antonio? Oh my God.
They're trying to win.
Again,
They don't want to lose to a Portland team without Damian Lillard.
that is true. That is a Portland team without Damian Lillard, whose owner is so cheap that they didn't provide t-shirts for game 3. Literally. I'm dead serious when I say this. If you have a concussion, I've had a concussion. David, I'm pretty sure you've had a concussion. Concussions take time to heal from.
I've never had a
They take
concussion.
time. I've had one concussion. I slammed my head into a locker once, right? Don't even explain how.
You slammed your head into a locker?
I was reaching down to get my coat, and literally I went like boom. And I
Was
missed.
this like recently? Were you watching a Cavs playoff game throughout the last couple of years?
No, I was in high school. That was literally the last concussion I had.
Okay.
But no, it takes time. And again, like I mentioned on Friday, NBA players rarely get concussions. And when they do, it takes time to come back from a concussion. So for you to clear him in less than a week, oh my God, this is so bad. So bad.
I think he's
going
to be fine. I think he's going to be fine. Well, what do you think? What do you think his box score is going to be tonight?
I'm scared to see.
I'm going to give him 5 blocks, 25 points, 13 rebounds.
I'm scared.
I think he's going to be fine. It's a non-contact sport. Like, it's different if you were like in the NFL and you were getting hit every week by people like Myles Garrett, Trent McDuffie, and these people are hitting you hard. Max Crosby, you're Victor Wembanyama. Your head's already 2 feet above everybody else. He's going to be fine. The only issue he's going to have is not hitting his head against the backboard.
Yeah, no. From that just shot of him doing this, like holding his head and then him getting up wobbly was just scary. But speaking of photographs of people, shout out to another network sponsor of ours, Masor Moments of Photography. His husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife, Hallie Mosser. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural and comfortable. Rooted in Northern Ohio, but inspired by the travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day, and their work blends experience, consistency, and genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at momentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. A proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network and Cleveland's digital leader. And also one more, I promise y'all, I promise. These are all the people that love us. They want to give us money. Okay? W energy drinks to keep us focused on this next Cavs playoff series. Clean energy, bold flavors, no jitters. See why people won't shut up about W Clean Energy. No jitters or crash, whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, like I'm guessing David is about to soon. W Energy helps you lock in and focus. Over 15 flavors to choose from. Order W Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen. Like, again, that lovely QR code. Click on it, people. You'll be taken to some great websites. Click on it. Use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. W Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network.
Autumn, I went to the gym this morning because I was scared. I was scared of what this Cavs game was going to entail today. I didn't want to go to the gym too angry because if I would have went after this Cavs game, probably would have hurt myself. Probably would have tried to lift too much, something like that. I had to make sure I have a clear mind when I go, you know?
Yeah, this team is frustrating, and this game was just really, really frustrating. what is your prediction for next game going forward? What do you think the Cavs have to do to change the outlook of this series to sort of put it away? Next game, you have to put it away. You have to make a statement of like, game after that, there's no chance you're coming back. There's no chance this could be tied up. What do they have to do to put the series away next game?
They, like I said, they have to stay consistent. Just all around. They have to get the bigs involved. And my honest prediction at this point, I could see it going 7. They haven't proved to us that they can win away. And until if they go and they win at home here. If they win in Toronto, I will feel more confident going into the next couple series. But until they prove we can win away, I'm not confident for any of the next series coming up, even if we win the Toronto series.
Honestly, I think for next game, they have to get Jared Allen involved. Again, he cannot have 3 points. 3 points, and 3 of those points come from free throws and 1 field goal. He cannot have 3 points. Yes, we know Donovan's going to be a high point getter. We know that James Harden is probably going to be your leading scorer. We know that Merrill, Wade, or Strus are going to be your one of your other 3. Mm-hmm. He has to have more than 3 points. Dennis Schroeder and Jalen Tyson have more points than him. There's no way that should happen. You are in the starting lineup. You are on the billboard. You're on the billboard.
There was a few times actually seen Jaden Tyson running the offense, which for me, he's too young. He should not be running this offense in crucial moments down the stretch. If we're up by 15, and you want to give the young buck a few chances to make big plays and get his ears wet, that's fine. But when we're in a 1-point game or it's a tied game and we're down the stretch, it has to be in Donovan Mitchell's hand. It has to be in James Harden's hand. And
Jalen Tyson cannot be him.
Preferably Donovan Mitchell. Even tonight, I know James Harden technically is the better passer, but James Harden gets in his own head. We saw, again, down the stretch, James Harden threw that pass to Jaden Tyson. Lackadaisical with his left hand. It got picked off. Fast break. They scored. It happened over and over again. And I feel like I sound like a broken record because it's tempo, pace. You know how fast this team is. You know how they operate their offense. They want to keep you on skates. Slow it down. You have to slow down the game. We saw specifically in the first half of the game how their half-court offense was non-existent. We held them to 26% because they were trying to run their half-court offense. At this point, I really don't have the answers, Autumn. I wish I had the answers. I wish I could say Donovan Mitchell's going to come out next game. He's going to shoot 7 for 8 from 3 and have a Donovan Mitchell spider game we want to see. But unfortunately, I can't see that happening after this performance tonight. I know we're going to be at home. The energy is going to be different. If he gives me 20, I'll be happy. But he has to give me a good 20. He can't shoot himself off the water and just try to bring his rhythm back the entire game. At that point, continue to feed the people that are in rhythm, like Sam Merrill. He wasn't getting the opportunities that he should have had. At one point in time, they consistently ran a pick and roll with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. Either one was the primary ball handler, and Sam Merrill was the person setting the screen so he can get off the screen. And he was wide open because those two need so much attention. But half the time, they weren't even passing him the ball back. They were getting stuck. They were trying to do too much dribbling. And I get it. You're trying to make the big play. They weren't making the big plays. You have to facilitate to the people that feed the hot hand. You got to feed the hot hand.
Yeah, that's their biggest problem is going to be they have to just look. I've said it all show. I've said it for the last 40 minutes. Mm-hmm. Get someone else involved, please. Again, please get someone else involved. You have dominated this team. You cannot lose to them. You are the better team. And I think they have to get some confidence. Look, we are not dealing with the JB Bickerstaff Cavs anymore, okay? We are not dealing with a team that just gives up. You cannot give up. We saw it last year, just how good they could be. Look, last year they could have went so much further, but injuries literally took them out. You are all healthy.
There's no excuse
Get
this
it
year, Autumn.
together. Get it together. I know. That's my thing, is that there is no excuse. There is no way that when I say you should be like next game, there should be no questions. There should be no questioning.
Autumn, let me
You
ask you this.
need to do it.
What happens if Toronto comes and beats us at home?
Then the series is over. Honestly, for real. If you let them beat you 3 games in a row, it's over.
If Toronto finds a way to win the series, what are the Cavs' next moves? I've already told you I want Strauss out of here. I've told you that. But what does it look like for Kenny Atkinson?
Well, Kenny Atkinson isn't the problem. Honestly, for real. No, like he's not the problem. At this point, if they can't win, which I don't like to speak that into existence. I actually think that the team is quite good, and I think this is probably their best chance to go all the way. And I think they are very talented, and I think they can go all the way. But if you cannot do that, you have to address the fact that you have to kind of get rid of Strus. Unfortunately, I do agree with that. He's been on this team for 3 years now. You signed him to a decent contract. He hasn't produced. He's been hurt. He was hurt for most of the season, came back the last month. He's been up and down. You can't have him on the team. You also have to get Donovan Mitchell more help. You kind of also may have to address the Donovan Mitchell of it all. Is he your future? Because if he continues to play the way he does in the playoffs and he can't step up, then yeah, maybe you kind of got to move away from him. And you got to say, do you want to be here? Is this good fit for both of us? Maybe not. But I don't think
he wants to be here, though.
I think he wants to be here too.
He does average 28 in the playoffs.
I think he wants to be here. I think he loves it here. I think he is a great player. I think that he has the potential to be an MVP in this league, but he chooses to have these moments where he's just lazy. Like, I love him, but he's very lazy. He is incredibly lazy.
I think the biggest factor, if we don't get out of this first round, I think Strauss will be gone. Jared Allen, see you later. I like Jared Allen.
I love Jared Allen.
I'm actually a little bit biased about Jared Allen because I met him in a real life situation, not sports related, not basketball related. I'm not going to say what I do for work, but I met him in a real life situation and I helped him out. And he was one of the nicest guys. So nice. So very respectful. But I can't let my personal opinion of the man dictate the future of the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially with performances like tonight.
No, he has to get more involved. And I'm, again, like I said, I'm not one to speak anything into existence. I think this team can go all the way. I predict they will win the series. I think this is kind of a bump. It's kind of a hiccup. You kind of need it to go through the playoffs. Remember when the Cavs of 10 years ago, literally 10 years ago, had blew through the playoffs, had no adversity, and then they got to the playoffs, got to the finals, and they had to fight back?
Are you talking about against the Golden State Warriors?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. They were going up against the best team of all time.
I know. Well, what I'm saying is, I know, trust me, and I have a lot of words for Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, I'm on your ass. But I like a team that has had adversity and can bring themselves up out of that adversity and make something of themselves and say, hey, we are not this team that you want us to be. And I think this Cavs team has been doubted for years since
they've had adversity.
I know, and they've had adversity all season. They literally traded away a fan favorite. They brought James Harden in. Bringing James Harden in to any locker room is a minefield. We've seen what he's done to every locker room that he's been in. It's a minefield. But you get him to reacclimate, but you have to, like I said again, you have to get those other players involved. You cannot have Jared Allen being outscored by Jalen Tyson and Dennis Schroeder. Well, actually, no, it's not just those two. It's Jalen Tyson, Dennis Schroeder, Dean Wade, and Evan Mobley.
Yep.
Dean Wade, Evan Mobley, and Sam Merrill. You cannot have that happen. You cannot have a guy who is, again, on the billboard.
Look,
on the billboard.
That billboard has had a lot of faces on it. It doesn't matter. Some people are going to play great throughout the regular season, like Jared Allen. But when the lights get the brightest, we see him score 0 points in the first half of a game. Have what you said, 3 points.
Yes.
That's it. I think the lights are too bright for a lot of these Cavs players right now. Specifically Max Strus and Jared Allen. And it's the unfortunate truth, especially if Donovan Mitchell's off and Evan Mobley's off. You can't have everybody crumble under the pressure. At that point, you need to make adjustments and you need to start moving. Right?
Yeah.
Make the adjustments, Autumn.
Mm-hmm. You gotta go into game 5, and you gotta make the adjustments. You gotta get Jared involved early. Again, I think this actually, let's do the keys to the game for next game. The key to the game for next game is get Jared Allen involved early. That's the key.
And Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley.
The bigs in general, both bigs in general have to come out strong.
You have to get both of them early, because if you don't, you're going to be playing from behind. You're going to have Donovan Mitchell chucking up shots from half court, knowing you can make it every once in a while, but you cannot have him do. Don't make my blood pressure go up. Please don't make my blood pressure go up. But the game will be here this Wednesday. This Wednesday, time to be determined. We'll be on Rocket Arena. I don't know where you can find the game. It took me 20 minutes to find the game today. Couldn't figure out how to watch it.
It was on ESPN. But I do know what I did to watch the game, because I didn't want to watch it on my phone using sketchy websites. I found Sling, and Sling has like a NBA playoff day pass. I paid $5 to watch the Cavs game today. That sucked. I'm sick of all these streaming services. Then while I'm watching the game, ESPN has an advertisement with the NFL draft. ESPN selects Super Bowl 60. I'm like, please no. What? The Super Bowl is going to be on ESPN now too? It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yes,
there's so many people that can't enjoy the games anymore.
No, because there's no way that I have to go to Peacock. Then if it's not on Peacock, I have to go to Amazon Prime. Then if it's not on Amazon Prime, I have to go to ESPN. Then if it's not on ESPN, I may have to go to ABC. Some of us don't have ABC because we don't have actual basic cable or an antenna, so I can't even watch it. So that's how you get sketchy websites. Then you can be watching a sketchy website and it's not even the correct broadcast. It's the alternative Toronto broadcast. Why would I want to hear those homers? Please, NBA, I'm begging you. Remember back in the day when it was just TNT or ESPN?
I miss TNT. Channel 5?
How
about just regular Channel 5?
If it's just ABC and it was TNT, that was great. I shouldn't have to be like, I think it's on Peacock. Oh, it's not on Peacock. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Oh, it's not on Amazon Prime. If it's not on Peacock or Amazon Prime or ESPN, I'm screwed. I don't know where it's at. I'm screwed.
Look, the fact that some streaming services are monopolizing, and like Sling, that made me pay $5. Like, Now they say you don't even need the membership. You know what? It's you can have a day pass. That's what they called it. You can have a day pass. They charged me $6 because it was plus tax.
Yeah,
It's
that's
unbelievable.
even yeah. And then it's like, okay, so then because I'm paying for all of these, I might as well get cable back. And then cable is astronomical. And it's like, well, no, I'm not paying an astronomical price and I want to watch one thing. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of it. Sick of it. Sick of it.
No, I'm getting I don't think it's going to be changing anytime soon.
No, because then
Unfortunately,
yeah.
there's too much money involved with it, and us, the fans are who's getting screwed by it. That's the worst part. I tried it. They did it with the NFL, where
Mhm.
Thursday night games are on Amazon, Monday night games are on like Fox, but you put on Fox on TV, it's not there. You download the app, they make you pay another subscription, and you're better
Look,
off deleting all your subscriptions.
you can't find anything on you can't find any game. Like you got baseball games being literally blacked out. What do you mean a baseball game is blacked out and I have to buy 3 different subscription service and I can't even
Well, do you remember when they introduced it with the was it Bally Sports? Where
Oh my
you could
god.
watch the MLB and you could watch the Cavs on Bally Sports.
Bally Sports is the downfall of everything wrong in this world.
Mhm.
Bally's in general is the downfall of everything wrong in this world. You had a you had a gym franchise, screwed that over. You then somehow managed to get a Vegas hotel, screwed that over. Then you were like, let's buy all of the Fox Sports because Fox got bought by Disney. So let's buy all of Fox Sports. You screwed that over. Now I have to go to the FanDuel network. A FanDuel network is about to lose money. It's about to black out. That doesn't even exist anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
There was a point because of all of these streaming services, I would go into my fantasy apps when I had like players playing to just to watch the games because it'll show you the games and I just click through the players I had on my teams just to watch the games. I'm not paying $200 a month just to watch every sports game.
No.
Then I have to
And
use
I'm
the
like,
sketchy website your brother sent me.
oh my god. Then, oh my god. Then, not to mention, if you do pay for it, so for example, I pay for ad-free Amazon Prime and Peacock. Why am I still getting ads? I purposely bought those options so I don't have to sit through commercials. Why are you doing this to me? So now I have to sit through commercials because you have to pay for your product because you sold the rights to you bought the rights to the NBA and MLB and all these different things for billions of dollars and you can't pay for it. So I have to suffer? Oh,
You do. You do. You
just
do.
terrible.
But what are
Just
we gonna do, Autumn?
awful.
What's the answer? What's the answer for the streaming services? And what's the answer for the Cleveland Cavaliers?
Honestly, the answer for the streaming service is go back to cable, make cable cheaper, and that's what you're doing anyway. Oh, also, I can't find movies. If I like a movie, I go online. It says, "Oh, it's on the Roku channel." I'm not paying for the Roku channel. That's not happening. Oh, it's on Amazon Prime. I have to pay for it on Amazon Prime. No, I'm not paying for it. So now I have to go to a sketchy movie site, and maybe, just maybe, my computer may get attacked with a virus. Okay.
Look, when you have malware and all of your stuff gets hacked just to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers, you can blame the NBA. And you
I
can
can't
blame
because
the
I can't find anything. I can't.
It sounds
find
like you're gonna blame Bally Sports.
I can't. I
It
can't.
sounds like you're blaming it all on them.
Again, the downfall of streaming goes back to Bally Sports. You were terrible. You're again. Why did we not think that they were gonna fail? They had to close all of their gyms. They were Planet Fitness before Planet Fitness, and they had to close all of the gyms because they didn't know how. They didn't know how infrastructure works. So you expect a company that didn't know how the infrastructure worked on gyms to then buy every single Fox Sports anything, and y'all thought this is gonna be great. Valley Sports is gonna be great. You lost so much money to where nobody could watch games. You had to stay to the FanDuel TV network, which is a created network, and then we still couldn't watch games. Teams have now resorted back to creating their own networks because y'all suck. Fix it. Fix it. Fix it. I'm begging you. Fix it, NBA. If I have to literally go through 10 different streaming services, I'm on that ass. I promise you. I'm on that ass.
What are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna protest?
Yes, absolutely. I will. I'll sign a strongly worded letter and a petition.
Say you should do that already.
Absolutely.
We've been sitting here struggling, trying to find the damn games day in and day out, and all we want to do is watch the Cavs win in 6. That's it. We just want to watch them win in 6.
That's it. That's literally it. That's all I want. All right.
We're running up against it, Autumn.
Yes, we are running up against it. Again, follow us on Inside Edge Network. David and I do Mic Check Take 2 every Friday at 7 o'clock. I also have a show on Wednesdays called Jersey Chasers with Christy Acuity. Watch it at 7:30. We talk about everything on both those shows, whether it be Major League Baseball, football, basketball. David and I will be joining you this Friday. We will have both Cavs post game, during the game, I don't know, and we will react to the Cleveland Browns draft. Follow Inside Edge Network wherever you get your podcasts, on socials. Watch us on YouTube. Shout out to all of the people that have been watching on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook today. Also, shout out to our OG network sponsor, Alley Rose Fragrances. Discover their collection of handcrafted candles made with clean, minimal ingredients. Every product is thoughtfully created in small batches, free from harmful toxins, for mindful everyday indulgence. The candles are hand poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood sticks, which offer a long-lasting burn with rich fragrance. Made with clean and toxin-free ingredients, they will create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home. Order candles from Alley Rose Fragrances using that QR code that's up in the top corner with the code Inside Edge 20 to receive 20% off of your order from AlleyRoseFragrances.com. But yes, that is it for us here on your Cavs post-game show. You catch the next one on Wednesday night. Well, is it Wednesday night? It might be after my show on Wednesday night. Oh my God, that's kind of crazy. Yes, that's really crazy. So catch.
Looks
the
like
Cavs
you're covering
post-game.
all the Cavs Toronto games.
I guess so. I guess
Just
so.
worked out that way.
I think it may be Eli and Chad, but catch Cavs post-game show this Wednesday after the game at home against Toronto, and then of course catch David and I on Friday for Game 6 this post-game and Mic Check Take 2. David,
Thanks, guys.
anything else?
Once again, I am the DAVID, the real Ruiz, and that's everyone's favorite season, Autumn. I forgot how to spell my name for a minute, but I'll do better Friday, I promise. See you, everyone.
See ya.